I am muted. I am famous for that. But anyway, we're back. But anyway, welcome to another exciting episode of Tough Love Giggles on your go-to online radio station, After5Radio, dedicated to celebrating Africans in the diaspora. I am your host, aka the Hype Lady, Miss Tando Amy, coming to you live all the way from Canada. And joining us today, honey, is joining us today, is a powerhouse in the world of women's empowerment and business leadership, Diana Musara, the visionary founder behind the International Women's Multisector Conference that's happening in 2025 this year, with a passion for breaking barriers and bridging leadership gaps. She is on a mission to redefine Africa's business future. So let's dive right into her story and the impact of this game-changing initiative. Help me welcome Diana. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all the diasporas. Tando, thank you so much for the opportunity.
No worries. No worries. Thank you so much, actually, for coming through. And we're like, you know what? This has to be done. And thank God it's just before the actual event. So thank you so much for coming through.
You're most welcome.
Awesome. So let's just dive right into it. But let's begin with your story, just to give a brief background on what really inspired you to start the International Women's Multisector Conference.
Okay, so the beginning of it was we started an organization called Yes We Can Businesswomen's Network Africa. And we realized whilst we are in the mission of empowering women and youth, we needed to collaborate with other organizations. We reached out to Heart Unlimited, which is based in Zimbabwe, to actually say, you know what, we are all doing the same thing. Everyone is starting a women's organization. What is important is for us to come together and collaborate. So last year, we hosted a conference, a multi-sector conference here in South Africa, where we invited women, entrepreneurs that came from SADC region. We had people from Zambia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. And we realized from this foundation that there was really a lot of benefit for us to keep on hosting these conferences and to invite women from all over with different backgrounds to give them an opportunity to network, to collaborate. And a lot has come out of our first conference. And we are hoping that we'll keep on growing on this one in Zimbabwe.
Oh, awesome. That's a good one. So let's say maybe for those who actually, because I know a lot of women are starting so many different initiatives supporting women in business or what have you. What comes to play to get people coming out or to get the word out there?
So for us, really, it's really inviting each and every woman who is starting business to say, let's come. Let's understand in terms of how you can grow your business, how you can grow your networks, how you can grow your business itself in terms of accessing to finance. So all these things is what we are going to be positioning to say, come and hear for yourself. And as well, the world is changing. There is AI technology that is coming on board. And we are saying, let's come and learn about changes for you to be able to grow your business. And then there is also another aspect whereby you're looking at women and you're saying, yes, you're a mother, you're a businesswoman, you're somebody's daughter-in-law. How are you centered? The well-being part and aspect is being neglected. And we need to realize that if you are not balanced, if you don't look after yourself, your business and your employees, then your business is not going to grow. Something is going to look at what has happened with COVID and how many people were impacted. So you need to have a healthy mind, a healthy heart, and you need to be inspired for you to be able to grow your business. And wellness is playing a big picture. But we are also saying there is so many opportunities in Africa. Come and look and investigate those opportunities and say, how can I grow my business? That's why we've brought all the women from African countries to say, share those opportunities because some people don't know about it. Come share, Let's see whether I can take it from South Africa and say, you know what, I'm looking for a partner in Zimbabwe. I'm looking for a partner in Zambia. I have, and I want to go global. I'm looking for those markets. What is it that I need to do? So that's our core. That's why we are having this conference.
Awesome. And you said something really profound when you mentioned about the world changing and it being an AI world now. Think about how a lot of people are not used to change. Change is painful, change is difficult. But you guys are choosing to come together and learn together, which kind of makes it fun and a bit more simpler. Is that not right?
That is absolutely right, because there is also a lot of opportunities in that AI, but you can also save costs. Like I look at ourselves last year, we had a presenter that came to talk to us about our AI. I'm in real estate. Right now, even advertising my business, virtual tours and whatever. A person doesn't have to be in South Africa to buy a house and to see it. You can now use AI for all those things. AI for marketing. What about AI in agriculture? It's all these opportunities that is coming up at the moment.
Right.
Again, there is issues around trade and everything with Trump coming. There was a lot of aid that was coming to Africa. And now aid is no longer there. But what we are saying is, yes, we used to get it, but if it's not there, then what?
Then
Do
what?
you see that?
Yeah.
So this is where we are saying there's an opportunity. Whenever there is a problem, it's an opportunity for you to do business.
That's it. That's it. And just being self-reliant more than anything, teaching ourselves to be self-reliant. Because like you said, people are used to getting aid from somewhere, right? And when it's gone, then what? What will happen? You'll scramble. You start thinking, okay, where do I go? And you feel as if your world is about to end. But if you learn something new and how to self-sustain yourself, things become better and easier for you, and even saves costs than to depend on aid or other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why one of the topic that we are going to be covering is be investor ready. You're running the business, and we keep on saying, oh, women don't have opportunities. And I'm saying, are you ready for funding? Is your business investor ready?
Yeah.
We have investors that are coming and want to talk to you. But how are you investor ready as well?
Exactly.
So for us, that is key. That's why this is not going to be a talk show conference, but it's a talk show, a conference. When you leave, you're going to leave with something tangible that you can go and implement somewhere.
Exactly. That is so awesome. And so the IWMC 2025 is themed around empowering women to redefine Africa's business future. What does that personally mean to you, and why now?
So there's never an opportunity which is better than what we are in right now. Look at the change which is welding right now. There's issues around climate change. And we are saying that when we are faced with that, every business is being impacted by climate change. So if that is the case, how ready are we to be able to tackle these changes that is happening around us? That's why we are saying why now is important to deal with that. Again, there's issues around agriculture. How can we improve, especially here in Africa? What is it that we need to do? Because we have got all these vast opportunities that are there, but we turn around and say, we don't have money, I can't do this. There is opportunity in agriculture and what you can do there. So it's really looking at it and saying, when the world changes, you need to change with it. You cannot sit back and say, there's an issue, there's a problem. We are from Africa, we are poor, we can't think. We have got a lot of innovators that are out there. Let's untap that potential that we have, and let's take advantage of it and grow Africa.
Woo! This is powerful, guys. And not to say, oh, we don't have this. I know a lot of people wait for handouts, which is so unfortunate. We're like, oh, okay, I don't have this because, you know, as Africans, we're the poor ones. I don't know where they get that from. But anyway, it's just I think it's a mindset thing. If anything, right? And another thing that you said was being investor ready. It's one thing saying, oh, I want this, oh, I need help with this. And then once the opportunity comes, what do you do with it? All right.
Exactly.
Or how do
Exactly.
you move forward? And then you get stuck and then you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was prepared. But no, bravo to you guys. Putting this all together, and for women to empower each other and guide each other on how to move forward with each other's businesses. So this year's mission includes bridging leadership gaps and promoting innovation, as we had mentioned about getting into AI, teaching each other and all that fun stuff. Can you share how the conference plans to actively address these goals?
Okay, so when we are looking at the global expansion as our first topic that we are looking at, what we really need to do, and our powerful speakers, which is Mpumi Bev Walker. Mpumi is coming from South Africa, and Bev is coming from UK. It's now bringing the two well and say, when you look at global expansion, what is it that you need to look at? How do you look beyond your borders, beyond Africa? So Bev is bringing in the concept from the first world and say, UK, what are those opportunities that we are looking for that we can tap in Africa? So it's not really saying the first world has got everything. The first world is coming in and say, what does Africa have to offer? Mpumi is coming in and say, we are here in Africa, and don't look at your own country where you are based in. Let's look at the whole of Africa and say, what are those opportunities and how do we take those opportunities global?
Right.
Then when we look at SADC itself and we bring it closer to home, we are now looking at strategically, how can you invest in SADC? Look at the tourism. Now there is rural tourism. When we grew up, we used to look at going to the rural areas and say, I'm going Kumusha, and there's nothing in it for me. It's like people coming from town to go to the rural areas. Now looking at rural areas as an opportunity for tourism. How are you changing that? So where you think there was nothing and we can't do anything, we are doing much. Agriculture, we move in there and we are saying organic foods. What are you doing in that that area? Organic is becoming a buzzword. And from a health conscious point of view, that's what people are looking for. And Africa, we have it. We have agriculture. We have the environment that is suitable for that. So our speakers, who are people like Agnes and Maide, they are going to tackle that topic and look at it and also prepare people right now from climate change. Are you prepared now where you grow maize? And now with climate change, that crop might not be grown in that area anymore because climate has changed. What else can you do? So it's really trying to be ahead of the game, understanding exactly some of the challenges that are there. And then when we are looking now in the environment side, we are actually saying it's affecting us. Like here in South Africa, we have had a lot of floods that has affected the whole area. The area is polluted as well. When you're looking at plastic pollution, it's a major contributor of global warming. Now we are saying, how do you take something that is harmful and turn it into something useful? So we've got Simbarashe Dube coming all the way from Zambia to come and show people how you can repurpose plastic into furniture. We have got Josephine Zambe coming from South Africa, showing us how she has now turned plastic into building material, and she's building schools, constructing schools. And people in townships are now being taught how to make a brick out of a plastic bottle and build schools. So
no, this is something else. Oh my gosh, I love this because I'm thinking, how to turn plastic into furniture. How is that possible? Or even brick? Like what? It is actually possible.
It is possible. It is already done. And we are going to be showcasing that. Anthea is going to show you how you can turn billboard material into handbags. So it's things that can be done and out of Africa. So it's really looking for somebody to come and teach us. It is there. Let's learn from it and let's turn this challenge into an opportunity. Again, we've got women who are saying that we want to go into investments. And yes, I've looked at trading. What about cryptocurrency? It's a myth. And a lot of people have gone in and they've lost money. So we've got Venkai coming in now to educate us and say, you don't have to be afraid. This is a good opportunity that is there, but how do you identify it and invest it in the right way? So there is that whole component that is bringing in from an education point of view, so that when you do decide to go and invest in crypto, you understand exactly what you're doing and you're not going to be scammed. So there is a lot. There is a lot that we are covering. And then the mental health part, we are even taking it further to say, although we are going to talk about it, we have got a team that is going all the way to Vic Falls. And when we go to Vic Falls, it's again, how do you then recharge your batteries? What are some of the opportunities? What are you eating? How are you feeding your mind? And also in Vic Falls itself, there is an opportunity that is coming in at the moment where Zimbabwe has been given the rights with the other SADC countries to host the Cricket World Cup. Now,
yes,
opportunities in Vic Falls, where we are, come and see for yourself whilst you are relaxing, whilst you are recharging those batteries. Go and look, talk to the people who are there and say, I am from agriculture. Is there an opportunity? I want to have lodges. I want to build a lodge. We want to build hospitals. We want to be part of building this stadium. What can we? But go and see it for yourself, check it out yourself, and see whether that opportunity is actually there. Exactly.
Wow.
And then AI and social media. So we can never do anything without social media marketing. Taffy is coming in there and really sitting women down and look at how you can actually look at marketing and AI together with Theodora. So it's packed. It's going to be packed. And we also give people not to just attend the conference, but get an opportunity to meet with investors at that conference as well.
Right. And so how long is the conference going to be? Because this would be so much to take in, so much information and so much. It'll be loaded more than anything. It'll be loaded, a conference. How many days is it going to be?
So the conference is 2 days.
Okay.
But in the 2 days, we have created opportunities whereby we can break away and people get to meet some of the speakers and get more information. But that's why we have also added on to say, we are taking you, let's go also to Vic Falls together. And then we can continue with the conversations. These were presentations, but how do we continue with the conversations? Look at real estate and say, what are we going to be doing? But get to talk and have intimate information now with the people that have got the know-how and the information. So 2 days, starting from the 22nd and the 23rd, we end it up with a gala dinner as well. But in there, we also have got promoting our Zimbabwean musicians to also come and show us what they have. So it's not only about us, but also our musicians are going to be there as well to entertain and showcase. So 2 days packed, but it's structured in such a way that there's breakaway rooms that you can have one-on-one information that you need. And also one of the things that is very critical for us is this conference has to be practical. Whatever every speaker that is going to talk, you need to be able to give practical examples that people can take away with.
Right. And so at the end, the musicians that you kind of hinted us on, could they be revealed or not yet?
So what we are going to do is we are going to be revealing them very soon, because we don't only want to deal with one. We are also looking at how many can we bring together. But at the moment, we have already engaged one. But very soon, watch out. We are going to be revealing them and marketing them that you know who is going to entertain you.
That is awesome. And also for people actually tuned in right now, just to get more information and to learn more about what's coming, I have just put on our ticker the website to visit to get the information, which is www.iwmc.biz/about. So you can get more information. And once they have musical artists or confirmed their musical artists, you get to see them on there and what else to expect. I love galas. I heard the last bit of the gala and what have you. So is there like a catered meal, or how is that going to look like?
So it's a 3-course meal that is going to be provided. And at the gala dinner as well, what we are going to do, besides the musicians that are going to entertain us, we are going to recognize women who have made it in business.
That's it.
So that they can talk, they can give us their story. So to inspire others that if Diana can do it, why can't I do it as well?
Yeah.
So there's going to be that part. We also have got our keynote speakers who are going to be opening the conference as well. Also, to really welcome all the members and everyone that is going to attend. The gala dinner is open for everyone. So it's not only women. And also, although we called it a women's conference, you can see we've got men speakers. Men are also welcome to come and join, because there's also a lot. Although we are promoting women, we are also saying you cannot do it alone. There are men out there who are ready to promote and work and collaborate with women. So come and join us as well.
All righty, man. Did you hear that information, man? You are welcome to come and join as well, in as much as it's a women's conference. So you've brought together powerful women leaders from across the industry, from across industries, as mentioned earlier on. What has been the most rewarding part of building this community?
I think for us, number one is just realizing and discovering that there are so many powerful women who are out there. So that was point number one. Number two, when we reached out to them, they felt this was their time to share with Africa and other women to say success only to yourself, it's not success. These women have said that we are willing to come out there and share with you. We even have got women who are running business from an NPO who are actually now willing to share, because if you don't look after your community as a business person, then what are you doing? So we have got people like Romney, who is inviting people who have got businesses to say, how do you support your community? And she's from an organization called For Good. What she's there really to do is to bring business together with social entrepreneurs and say, how do you go out there and support your community?
That's it.
There are NGOs who are making a very important impact in the communities, but they need help. So as business, let's come together and let's support them. And this is the message that she's going to be spreading all the other women entrepreneurs to say, as you start, don't forget your community. You have to move every step with your community.
Wow. That's interesting. And so many women who actually struggle, we know that there's some people who struggle with access to opportunity and mentorship in business. So how does IWMC aim to unlock the untapped potential in that?
So what we are basically going to be doing is, after this conference, all these women that are going to come to the conference, we are going to do an assessment in terms of their needs. And then we pay up. So to say, if somebody came and say, I've got a very good idea, and this is what I want to do, we pay it up with somebody else who is also looking for the same and says, I've done it, and I'm looking for somebody to work with and collaborate. And then together they can grow. So it's really putting people together for collaboration. And those that are now saying, I have an idea, but I don't have the funds. This is where people like Romney and them are coming in to say, this is how you can reach out to organizations. But when you reach out, what is your business plan?
That's it.
How are you also contributing? You cannot just go and beg. What are you also bringing to the table? And really help women to pull together that package that you can go to a financer, to the bank, and say, I'm ready. This is what I have, and this is what I want to do. Are your people trained? Do you have the resources? Where are you operating from? And all those things. And when you apply for money, what are you applying for that money to do? Is it now you get money and then you use the funding to go and buy a nice car? What are you going to do? Then how do you grow that business? So for us, the collaboration is going to be important. Investor readiness is going to be important. Mentorship is going to be important. Training is going to be important. And that's what we're going to really open up for the women who are going to be attending this conference too.
So, question that came to my mind right now is: are people going to are people or other women going to be able to or need to register prior so that you know the needs? And that you're going to be dealing with the people who are going to be working with them, and then trying to manage the time with the 2 days that you have.
Okay, so our registration process, the form is also asking people where are they coming from, what is your business, and all that is there. However, over and above that, as the women come to the conference, what we are really trying to do is to gather that data that says it's Diana. She's running a business called Earthly Touch Foundation, or she's in real estate. This is where she's based. Use that data now after the conference to follow up, because also at the conference, people are going to register their needs. And then we are going to have follow-ups to say, you did at a conference, you indicated that you are looking for somebody to collaborate with. Can I introduce you to Diana? Can I introduce you to Tando? And the two of you can now take it forward.
Right.
You can now see how you can work together. You said that you are not, your business is not investor ready. Can we introduce you now to Bev? There is a program that is there for you to attend to now make sure that your business is investor ready. I'm in agriculture. Can we then open up? Agnes does a lot of training of women in agriculture and also help them in terms of finding investment opportunities. We then link the women in agriculture with Agnes and My Day. So that's how we are trying to make sure that it's practical. It's not a talk show. When you leave, you only talk about, oh, I attended that conference, but what did you get? We need to find your goals.
I know, exactly. Not just being there for no reason and just adding the numbers. Like you said, it's not going to be a talk show, guys. We like that. So as a Zimbabwean woman leading a Pan-African initiative, what challenges have you faced in championing this vision, and how have you actually overcome them?
So the first challenge is really sometimes we are our own worst enemies. So with women, when you bring them together, sometimes what tends to happen is we are coming in and we are saying, what's in it for me? And expectation to be spoon-fed.
That's it.
We're not here to spoon-feed
anybody.
The bottom line is, if you say you're an entrepreneur is not a person who is coming in here to be spoon-fed. You are saying, I've spotted an opportunity. Your organization, I believe that it can help me grow me. How can I then work with you? So that's number one. That has been our biggest challenge, where we have had 100 people, 200 people joining, and they leave. And when they leave, they say, there was nothing there for me, but you were looking for somebody to do it for you. We don't do it for you. You do it for yourself. You take advantage of those opportunities. That's number one. The second challenge that we have had from a barrier point of view, which everyone is always talking about, is these women, brilliant women who have come in, but they don't have access to information and finance. So it has been very difficult. So even when we have a conference like this, good women, but some of them, they can't afford it. We look for sponsors to say, please expose these women to come and attend this conference so that they can learn. But it's still a challenge that is there. The third one that we are always also facing as women, besides access to finance, is the well-being. There is a lot of challenges that women who are starting business or who are in businesses are facing. And a lot of them end up giving up because either they are in an abusive relationship, they don't know who else to turn to. We have got women who are CEOs, whom we all look up and say, oh yeah, a CEO, you've got everything together. But you don't know when she goes home, what is she faced with? What are the challenges that they are faced with? So that has also been a very big barrier to women in business. And a lot of them end up giving up because the environment that they are coming out of, it's an abusive environment. So those are some of the few challenges that I can just highlight that comes top to mind. And that's
Right.
what we are trying to address as well, to say, how do you overcome that? What is it that you can do? And then prepare yourself, the women, to be ready to actually take advantage of whatever is put at their table.
Right. Oh, wow. So would this not intimidate, say maybe from, like you mentioned, people may be coming from abuse or not being able to access, information, or not being able to be a part of it fully. Won't it actually affect like their homes in a way? Because we have a high divorce rate going on when women start, coming together and having to become independent, and then eventually intimidate our brothers, our fathers, our you, what have you. Because when it comes to abuse, it's sometimes, not all the time, where women are not allowed to be as independent or to have their own stuff and stand on their own feet. They just expect women to be dependent on them. So how can that initiative still be there and maintain a healthy home regardless of somebody's background more than anything?
So when you look and research, when you do a lot of research where there is abuse, some of it is because a lot of women economically depend on the man.
Exactly.
So our starting point is to say, wherever you are, the small or little things that you can do to empower yourself so that you don't 100% depend on your husband is the first step to empower yourself and to start dealing with some of the issues of abuse. That's number one. And then number two, to also say, when you are in that situation, how then do you address it in a constructive manner?
Okay.
So that you can walk, because sometimes people who abuse comes also from an abused background.
That's true.
Well, so it becomes a ripple effect. So there have to be a balancing effect. And also when we teach women, it's not like saying, you know what, go make money and leave your husband. Understand the whole cycle, understand the whole background, and come in there intending to help and walk the journey and help the woman to walk their journey, because it's not yours. And make sure that we don't, whatever we do, the intervention does not destroy, but it's there to build.
To build more than anything.
Exactly.
That is awesome. So I love the positivity behind that, because sometimes people can end up taking it in a negative way and say, oh yeah, but it will break this. It will, instead of building and what it means being an innovative woman and still being supported in the walk and on the journey. So you also mentioned about the people that are going to be there, like the highlights of the attendees and stuff like that, where we spoke about musicians and, still being confirmed. But about the keynote speakers, do you mind telling us what the keynote speakers are? Is there going to be a panel? The panelists who are going to be there and all that fun stuff.
Okay, so we have our keynote speakers, so it's really action-packed. So I've mentioned already, when we are looking at the global expansion, we've got two powerful ladies that I've already mentioned, which is Pumi and Beth, and their presentation is really going to be in a panel. So it's really opening up, and people really having to share and talk and engage the people that are there. When we look at Dadirai Ngwenya and Jebari Jefferson, they are coming all the way from United States.
Nice.
To be able to share with women in Africa the opportunities that are out there that they can take advantage of. So theirs is really, Jeffrey is going to join us online, because she's living on the same day that the conference is taking place. But what we are going to do further to that, as she arrives, there's going to be an opportunity for people to also engage face-to-face with her.
Okay.
Then on the climate change, I've already spoken about Anthea, Josephine, and Simbarashe. Two from South Africa, Simbarashe coming all the way from Zambia. And this is a young innovator in the environment world. She will talk to us about the changes and how he has really motivated youth to look at the environment and say, this is yours to save. What are you doing? And he's going to be showcasing some of the things that he's doing in Zambia to tackle this whole problem around climate change.
Right.
Harnessing modern technology, Ruramai Napata from IT background is really, because we're all afraid of IT, especially as the older generation, and then we are bringing this now. There's AI, there's crypto, there's whatever, all that. He's going to take the fear out of IT and really showcase how we can take advantage of IT.
Okay.
And in your business, and how IT can enhance your business. Then cryptocurrency, I spoke about Vengai Jedere, is a guy who has actually said, I operate in the women's world.
Nice.
I want to be there to grow women's businesses. And he's going to take away the myth around cryptocurrency.
Right.
Then we have got Linda Lilongwe. Hers is really coming in with Ruth Dube. They are going to look at the intersection of mental health, wellness, business success, to say those you can't have one without the other. How does it come together? I can't wait for this one, because for me, this is one key area where it's neglected.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's true. That is so true.
And then mastering social media, Tafi Gotora is going to be running with that one. And again, if you are not into social media, before, the only way I could be in social media was just WhatsApp. When you say Facebook, I said, my life is private. I don't want anyone to know about it.
Exactly.
I'm saying, why? Why are you there? Why are you always? Now we realize you cannot run your business if we are not in social media. Where are you marketing? What are you doing? So it's also those things that we are bringing to women and say, if you are not there, you are left behind. And if you think you can still give people flyers, no one is reading flyers, and you're polluting the environment anyway.
Exactly.
Move with the times.
And also think about now, the one thing that, another thing that kind of gave that actually shocked me was even the digital, what do you call it? Business card, digital business. Now it's one of those, oh, do you have a business card? I was like, yeah, I have my business card. It's in my phone, right? Just tap, you get everything, your social network, your website, your phone. They're like, how do you? I was like, yo, I had to learn it too.
Exactly. And you talk about that from a business card. My bank is on my phone.
Everything is now here. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't carry a handbag anymore. The only thing is, if I lose my phone, my life is gone. So definitely. And that's why you also find that AI for us is coming in as well. That we are going to be covering a lot of that. And then another important one is the compliance, ease of doing business. Whereby somebody comes and say, okay, I want to come to South Africa from Zimbabwe. I want to start a business. How do I go about registering? What is it that is required? So Brenda Huruda is going to take us through that. Ease of doing business in Zimbabwe. What about ease of doing business in South Africa? What is the compliance requirement? A lot of people submitting your tax returns, registering your business with the relevant with the relevant organizations. What are you doing to comply? Some businesses end up closing, and some of them because they were not paying the taxmen.
That's
they are
true.
evading and all that. So she is going to be taking us through all that. And then the key one as well, that Tisa, all the way from Zambia, Tisa Mumba, is going to now cover bridging the finance gap for women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
How do you go about bridging that gap?
Right.
So she will be running away with that and really looking at the practical ways that you need to look at it. And that's why I also spoke about investor readiness. She will also touch on it and say, what is it from a business that you should have to be able to do that? But also to give opportunities to say, you need to go there. You need to talk to this organization. These are sponsoring women. These are giving funding. These are giving grants. All that is going to be brought together. And lastly, we have myself talking about real business from sorry, I've just lost my track of thought. Real estate.
Real estate. Okay.
I'll be bringing all the women who wants to invest in real estate in South Africa. What are the opportunities in real estate in South Africa? Where do you go? The difference between you buying a property in Cape Town versus in Durban versus in Joburg. What are those opportunities? We talk about Airbnb. What are you buying the property for? Is it investment? Is it for you to come and stay there? How do you also access funding? If you want to buy, if you're a foreigner, you want to come and buy in South Africa, you know you can get a 50% bond. How do you go out applying for that? And all that. So we will be covering that. And then Innocentia Tigere will then be talking about real estate in Zimbabwe. Like, I'm originally from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, but I want to invest back home. I want to build back home. We know that there is quite a lot of development that are starting in Zimbabwe, which is something that never used to be there. So how do I now go in? I inherited the property from my parents. Do I keep it as a big house on a 10,000 square meters, or I can put cluster homes? If I want to do that, how do I go about doing that? So opportunities for development for women. How do you become a developer and take advantage of this that is coming up now? And who are the developers that you can work with? So Innocentia is going to cover that whole aspect. Applying, getting permits, how do you then source developers and all that? It's all going to be covered. And then we've got Priska, who is going to cover investment in tourism. What can you do? You talk rural tourism. What is there? What are the opportunities? Gone are the days where we go home to the rural areas for a funeral and we all are sleeping in one room with our blankets and everybody's breathing on top of everyone. But I can go to a funeral and go and do.
I know.
And there is a chalet that is there. We go and it's all there. And you'll be surprised at how many diasporas have now started investing in the rural areas.
In the rural areas,
there's boreholes, everything is happening there. And we are still hanging on.
It's cheaper. I think it's cheaper to do it there. Yeah.
Exactly. So those are the things that we are going to be talking about. To say there is an opportunity in something that we used to look back and say, I'm not going to the rural areas. What for? Those rural areas are booming at the moment. So all that is going to be covered.
Yeah. And talk about, the way nature kind of, rejuvenates more than anything, reset, everything, like just being around nature, because rural areas, there's a lot of nature around compared to the city, right? So with the way you've actually mentioned, you touched on mental health, which is something that's really huge. And like you said, has been neglected for so long. And now, opening up to that, to learning that, to taking care of our mental health, it's really huge. And we applaud you for even touching on that, because a lot of people still miss that aspect of, even running business, because you need that all the time. You need to take care of your mental health without even self-care. How are you able to move forward with anything in life? It's been a department that's actually been neglected for a very long time.
Exactly. For me, one of the issues that I always have with women is not taking care of ourselves. We take care of everybody else, and you are the last.
Exactly.
So we need to be able to do that. And we are hoping that this conference is really going to be the start and really showing women that, you know what, if this engine is not functioning properly,
Yeah.
then everything else around you is going to die.
Exactly.
So it's important. As part of running any business, that is going to be important. I also heard now with Pamela, she just sent me a message now and said, Diana, the entertainers are already recognized. Talk about them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Exactly.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thanks, Pamela. You know, this mind is getting old. So they are identified. They are there. They are going to be, we also want to promote our local.
That's it.
So they are going to be joining us to really also show us what they are made of.
Yeah.
So the entertainment live band from Fab Fusion and Savannah.
Oh,
there you go.
That's it. So guys, this is something to come through for. And I have a question, another question that kept coming into my mind because sometimes I forget. Is it just going to be, do people need to, of course we need them to come in person, but is there going to be a live feed as well for some diasporians out there who are just knowing now? And booking for a vacation and stuff like that kind of takes time. And had they known sooner, it would have been easy for them to come over. Is there going to be a live stream for it or after the fact? And then people can then reach out after watching maybe videos or recordings or what have you. Is there going to be a live feed at all?
So it's going to be after the effect. One of the reasons why we did not want to go live for now is because we were not quite sure. Things happen, electricity load shedding, Wi-Fi going down, whatever. So we really do not want to disappoint. But what we are going to be doing is after. Everything that we've done, it's going to be then fed back and people will have the opportunity to access our conference after.
Right. No, it does make sense. Yeah. And also too, it actually allows people, those who can, to come and experience it live, right? It's always nicer to experience some of these things live and then get to ask your question, the person that you want to ask the question face to face. And the connection is different versus online, to be honest.
That's what I always tell people. There is power in networking. Like right now, we've only met online. When you go off, sometimes we forget about you. When you're there, you tend to talk. You can engage. And this is where we are actually hoping that when you are there are people who are there who are also looking for you. So come and connect with those people. We have got stations where people are going to say, I'm an investor. And Tando, I'm looking for somebody to invest, to put my money in. Sometimes online is not going to give you that. So that's where we're actually encouraging you to say, come, be with us. Afterwards, you can connect online.
Right. And that is so true. So ladies, can you hear this? And our gentlemen, we heard our gentlemen are allowed to come through as well and help our women grow in business and leadership. So beyond the conference, what's the long-term vision for IWMC?
So this is something that we are going to be doing every year. But what we are going now to be doing here is for the women that have joined us, what we really want to do is to track afterwards and say, after the conference, how many people benefited from it? Who started a business? Who managed to get somebody to collaborate with? Who managed to get access to investment and funding? Just like what we did in South Africa last year, we have women who are actually now coming to this conference because they are collaborating. So it's now somebody in Zimbabwe and South Africa who are now doing business together.
Right.
And it was something that was introduced last year when they were at the conference. We are also coming in people like Josephine, who is doing the EcoBrick building. They've already identified Matthew Rusike, and they are bringing that skill to say cheaper, better, cleaning your environment. Let's build an ECD center for the orphans at Matthew Rusike. But they are based here, but they are going to be impacting the knowledge back in Zimbabwe so that people can continue doing that. So for us, that's what it is. So we're going to track, we're going to work together, and then next year we start planning again. Maybe we're going to be in Zambia, and the conference is going to take place in Zambia or another part. And also now to start encouraging women to attend some of the opportunities around. There's a lot of trade fairs that is happening. Go there and network and see what other people are doing. But we are also going to now work together with some of those people who are organizing it so that we expose our women to more information in terms of investment.
Right. No, that's something to look forward to. So women listening today, for the women who are listening today or who are hesitant about stepping into leadership roles, what advice would you give them today? Because leadership has lots of responsibilities, that's for sure.
So leadership has got lots of responsibilities, but it can be done.
Yeah.
And we always say to women, don't be afraid. You need to tap into that inner fear and say, what is it that I'm scared of? Because they are mentors. They are people who can hold your hand. And this conference will give you that opportunity to say, okay, where do you start? What kind of support do you need? We are here to handhold you. Because I can tell you, the moment a woman gets it right, it impacts the whole world.
That's it.
We need more and more women in leadership. And we are here for you. There's no reason to be afraid. The only thing that is not going to work for you if you're waiting for somebody to convince you that you're good. You have to convince yourself.
I know. And they say that even if you're afraid, do it anyway. Even if you're afraid, do it anyway, because the more you stay in the sideline, the more you keep beating yourself up and say, oh, what if? I wish I had done this. I wish I had taken this step to do this, right? And you won't know unless you step into it, regardless of the fear.
Exactly. And sometimes women, we don't realize that when your back is against the wall, that's when you are most innovative. Don't let fear hold you back. There are women who are going to be talking to you about exactly where you are, where you were afraid, but how did they get the courage to actually say, I'm going to do this? And sometimes ideas, and this is what I always say to people, let's not have a tomato mentality or Maputi mentality that I'm just going to do what Diana is selling tomatoes and I'm going to sell tomatoes.
Yeah.
I say, look, right now, there's so many challenges that are there in the world. And where you are, look at that and say, how can I be a solution to that challenge? That's where the business opportunities and business ideas are going to come from. It's not going to come from you copying what everybody else is doing. It's done already. When you want to copy that, come in and say, I can do it better. But those opportunities are there. Whoever thought that you can make clothes and make bags and whatever out of discarded banners and material? Whoever thought that you can build schools, you can build houses out of plastic bottles? Somebody. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying to you. Look at it. Right now, we talk about construction, the construction industry, alternative building material. And now we are saying there's hemp that you can use instead of brick. Brick, when you make it, imagine the carbon emissions that it's actually emitting in the world, and it's contributing to global warming. So people are moving away from that, and we are still doing it. You're going to become one of those people who are using cameras before and Kodak. Where are they now?
I know, that is so true. That is so true. The world is moving really fast at this point, and they say the world, I think cell phones are going to be phased out soon, more than anything. And look at how we're saying, oh yeah, my business cards, my credit cards, my everything, they're here, but this is going to be phased out soon. And then what? So we need to keep up with the times, with whatever technology is going to bring to the table, and AI is just the start. I remember when I was like, oh my gosh, AI is not going to, it's not going to be a good thing because it's going to take lots of jobs and what have you. And like you said, it's cheaper for business people more than anything, right, to deal with AI. But at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to work smarter than harder. When you think about it, it's like, oh, I think I like AI. And trust me, it is helping me a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can tell you, in real estate, I am selling houses to people who haven't even come fly all the way to South Africa to see it because of
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
People can actually walk virtually in this house and see what it is without actually being there. People can even change furniture to say, okay, this is the house, this is the square meterage, I want the furniture to look like that, and AI put it all together for you, that image, so that when you want to make the decision, you can actually see each room, how it can be finished and how it's going to look. And you are doing it in the comfort of your own house, in Canada.
Yeah.
You don't have to be here to do that.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things. And as an agent, I don't now have to drive around and saying I'm going for viewings.
Yeah.
Viewings are done virtually. Online. My adverts, I just go chat GPT and say, okay, I want to advertise this house. This is the information. Draft an advert for me. And it's there. And that saves me money. And I used to spend hours doing this.
Wow. And that's it. That is so true. That is so true. It's as good as even when I get ready for my interviews, I do a research on the person and what have you, sit down, GPT, this is about this person. Help me tailor ABCD. Help me put this together. If it's something and it asks you, is this good enough? Do you need it this way? I'm like, okay, please change ABCD. Please. And you're like, are you kidding me? Saves me a lot of time.
Definitely.
It's helping each other. Yeah.
Exactly. You always have to customize it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Make sure that it's correct, eh?
Exactly.
But it takes away most of the hard
of
work
your time. Yeah.
So I'm saying, look at those things. When you're a woman and you're running business, you also have to work smart. So what are those smart things that you can use? Not everything can be replaced by AI. Not everything can be replaced by technology. You need to understand in your business, the human touch will always be needed.
Yeah.
Then how do you balance the two?
How do you
and
balance
those are some of the things that we need to show, to say, although there's technology, but there's the human.
Exactly.
How do you handle that so that the two can help you to grow your business?
Exactly. Just a warning on AI too, that I kind of discovered as well, just to give a heads up on people if they've never noticed. Having AI does not mean it is 100% smarter than us. It is not 100% smarter, because when I also started learning AI, I'm a numbers person. I'm a math person. So for me, it's like, okay, I just want to juggle my brain. How do I do this? Oh, okay. And then I was like, oh yeah, AI helped me to just rejuggle my mind by doing math. And then you start doing the math and what have you. You already know the answer. But then there's one time that it gave a wrong answer. And I was like, no AI, but if you do it this way, the formula is ABCD. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. You caught it. So it's one of those where you have to pay attention. Just using AI does not mean it is 100% correct. So even some information that I was looking at, I was even telling one of my girlfriends, I was like, I tried to ask AI something in Shona, and it was, we had a back and forth, me and I had a back and forth with AI. I was like, no, AI, but what does this mean? If it's saying chakuchamembe or kumawozanyemba, you're telling me there's two not sides, it doesn't make sense. So I would go on Google and check Google, and Google would give me. So I was thinking, okay, so what's the difference between Google and AI? So it's one of those things where you need to put your brain still, not to just leave your brain out of it. Right? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's going to make us lazy. No. You need to also still put your brain in it, because it doesn't mean it's 100% correct. You understand? Definitely. It's a computer. It's also getting the information that it thinks is right. So it's AI is quite interesting. A human touch is what you need, because at the end of the day, imagine if you and I were to ask the same question to AI and then it'll give us the same thing. And then we put it on our sites. We'll be like, oh, did Diana copy Amanda's stuff, or did Amanda copy Diana's stuff? But if we put our human touch, you put on real estate, I put it on, entertainment and what have you, you see the difference. It will be almost similar information, but a bit of difference. So I think this conference will be really helpful to women to say, okay, yes, you're telling us to get into AI, but what is AI, or how can I work with AI? Because AI is quite interesting more than anything. And yeah, I just hope this will actually help women to look deeper, other than just to depend more than anything when you do your conference. But as we're about to conclude, how can people register? Is it still open for registering or to get involved with the IWMC 2025 if they want to be a part of it?
So they can go to our website. Thank you for putting that website there.
Yeah.
All the information about for registration is there. The costs are all there. So it's $220 for the 2-day conference, including the gala dinner. If you just want to come and enjoy the entertainment, everyone is welcome. The gala dinner on its own is $50. For the people who want to go and also unwind and look at investment opportunities in Victoria Falls, it's going to cost you $650, including accommodation for 3 nights and the excursions. So our excursions is going to include, we'll go to Chobe. There's going to be a day visit in Chobe. We will go for the breakfast. There is a game drive. There is a sunset cruise and lunch in Chobe, Botswana. Then you do the Victoria Falls walk. You go and have lunch at the gorge that is overlooking the gorge. There's a restaurant there. We've got 2 networking dinners that we are going to do. One which is a boma. The other one is going to be a networking dinner. We are also going to visit the area where the whole development and investment opportunities are going to be, to go and see for ourselves, meet with the people who are running with the project, get to understand in case if we want to come together and invest, there's opportunities to walk to Zambia to see the falls from the Zambian side. So it's really a mixed bag. You do your own flights. They are not included in the cost, but we have everything for everyone who really wants, either if you want to unwind and enjoy yourself or you want to do business, you will also continue doing that in Vic Falls as well as in Harare.
Ooh, this is amazing. And I just love the fact that you said, of course, right now you're doing it in Harare and hopefully next year in a different country within Africa, maybe Zambia, maybe South Africa, you name it. This is amazing because it gives people the opportunity to also see Africa as a, maybe starting with the southern part, our southern babies, how beautiful the southern is, and also moving the rest of Africa. And thank you so much, Diana, for this opportunity of coming to share about IWMC that is going to be happening in Harare this year, and a whole lot more that people need to expect, the musicians, the panels, the keynote speakers, and everything else that's going to be, coming with the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. And people out there, we are looking forward to meeting you there. You're really going to benefit quite a lot. See you in Harare.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we have actually come to the end of our conversation today. And if you missed this conversation, do not despair, because it is actually going to be on our YouTube channel, actually all streaming platforms. And now we've actually learned that as we were talking with Diana, that technology is changing every time. I don't know if Facebook is running out of a cloud space, because now all live videos are actually being deleted after 30 days. But if you don't find this on Facebook, even after the 30 days or what have you, feel free to go to our YouTube channel. It'll still be there. Instagram as well, LinkedIn, and yeah, I think all streaming platforms except for Facebook, because Facebook within 30 days, after 30 days, they will put it down. But this is how we need to move on with the times, right? But thank you so much, Diana. What a powerful and purpose-filled conversation. A huge thank you for coming through today, for not only sharing your vision, but for walking the talk when it comes to empowering women and shaping Africa's business future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And And to everyone tuned in, may today's conversation remind you that you have a seat at the table. As Diana said, that do not come saying, oh yeah, I want to be like Amanda. I want to talk the way Amanda talks. I want to, I want to be as innovative. I mean, I want to get into real estate just like Diana. There's room for everybody. There's space for everybody. There's only one you, and you can do it differently and uniquely. So there's a seat at the table, and your voice really matters. And if you're ready to break barriers and build bridges, don't miss the International Women's Multisector Conference this May in Harare. And for more information, or for you to learn more about this, visit the World Wide Web, iwmc.business/about. As you can see at the bottom here, it is there to stay throughout the interview. It has been there for a reason. So, so you can go on it and see what else is going to be there and every change that's going to come prior to the conference. So until next time, keep leading with courage, living with a purpose, and laughing through the journey. This is your host, aka the Hype Lady, Miss Tando Amy, and you've been listening to After 5 Radio, where it's always tough, love, and giggles, as well as purposeful conversations. Until next time, guys. See you. Take care, and God bless you. Take care, Diana. We will talk to you soon. Thank you. Okay, bye for now.
Okay. JJC, this all is gonna come back. Oh no, it's the remix. Troublemaker, don't come. Kuchichiski say, yo, Zimbabwe, we born hooray. Africa, we are T-Sangane. Let's come together with one family. Let's make history from today. JJC, I'm from Nigeria. It doesn't matter to leave anywhere, Jira. And if you have no fear, don't stand and stare. Put your fist in the air. All I wanna hear is we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Zimbabwe. Yeah, we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Come on, Africans. As soon as I said food on African soil, that's when I get in touch with African style. The Africans and show me African smile. African talent that are well versatile. See the African very calling artist. African the wisest, African the smartest. The mentor, the voice, and the juice of the art. Zimbabwe, we are the big class. Listen up. I'm slanging at the nation. Back again with the remix selection. From London to Zimbabwe, all the Africans know we stop the party. And if you know it, put one out in the air. Scream and shout like you just don't care. African people, if you're strong and proud, repeat after me and say, we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Zimbabwe. Yeah, we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans.
I am an African child. Zimbabwe is where I be from. They be checking my style, my swag, my flow. Can't push me cause I know I'm sweet. Got diamonds and gold in Africa. Rhythm and blues in Africa. Beautiful women in Africa.
Resident from Zimbabwe, all of my trade in the city of Ferrari. But I was born in Mazingo, and that's why me talking a lingo. Imbai, Kanaga Nyimbo, Mripam Wichete, Na PK, Kaz and JJC with one big family. Because we
are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Zimbabwe. Yeah, we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Come on, Africans.
Me a roll out the ghetto, me a youth from Africa. King Selassie rule from out of Africa. The best body girl, I'm from Africa. All the diamonds and gold from Africa. 27 years in spent in a prison just to liberate people in Africa. Nelson Mandela. From Nigeria to Zimbabwe, UK back to Africa.
We never culture rare as the Nile. Everybody on the African style. Our music make you go wild. I know you get it. We flex, we dress to impress. We call for the best, put us to the test. And it ain't no stress, don't settle for less. Cause we are Africa.
Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans. Zimbabwe. Yeah, we are Africans. We are Africans. We are Africans.
Africans, we rise for the prize. Africans, we rise, ain't no lies. Africans, we rise.
like the soul in the Africans we rise. We are Africans. Louder. Africans we unite. We are Africans. Rise up, rise up, rise up.